So yeah, it's such. There's also a story where happiness had to be earned. We have to prove we deserve it. Yeah, oh, of course, right? And we prove we deserve it by achieving success, right? Which means we have to solve problems. So it comes back to that whole idea. Identifying that I'm not happy now, identifying that there's a problem, and then going to solve that problem, which we need to be successful at, right, and not a failure, and measuring our progress along the way of solving the problem that's keeping us out of being happy. That's how we've been sold to do life, right? So yes, and many of us are holding a overriding or under dwelling belief, right, that we don't deserve happiness no matter what, because it's been ingrained in us through past life experiences or even reinforced in early life experiences this time round, that we're not good enough, right, and that we'll never be successful in being what we need to be in order to be happy, right? We'll never be successful or good enough in the eyes of God, or whatever, right? Because we failed in the past. Many of us have failed in the past to uphold the light on this planet. Many of us have failed to defeat darkness. Many have failed to protect those that we love in other times. And we have been captured, and we have been tortured, and we have been programmed, brainwashed with the idea that we're not good enough, not capable, a complete failure, in the eyes of God and in the eyes of those who we love. And some of those wounds cut pretty fucking deep. And so it's not easy for us to overcome this idea that we need to prove our worth by achieving some form of greatness to regain our ability to be loved, to be accepted, and to be happy. Because many of us pin this idea that if we can't be happy unless we are appreciated and loved. And ironically, even though many of us are appreciated and loved by those around us, we can't accept it because we still don't feel that we're good enough to be appreciated and loved. Therefore, we reject the love of others. We reject their appreciation of us, because we don't love ourselves, right? We can't appreciate ourselves because we can't accept ourselves because we have not yet got beyond the program that we're not good enough. So that, in a nutshell, is a complete fucking downer. But, and it's not absolute that that's absolutely completely running our life, but it is unfortunately fundamentally present in many of us to some degree. To some degree. So, and that's what we're expanding out of, right? We're expanding out of that program that we're not good enough or not worthy, however you want to say that, of being loved and appreciated because we have not been successful in achieving some form of greatness that we've set ourselves as some unrealistic goal that needs to be achieved in order for us to right the wrongs of the past. Not that there were wrongs done in the past, but there were failings that we have not come to terms with yet completely. And rather than think that we have to solve all of our issues from the past, it's not that we have to solve them. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a truth to be gently expanded out of, or a delusional story to be gently expanded out of. When I say it's true that that story has influence over us because we've led it and we've maintained it for so long. But for many of us, what's happening now is the energy's rising. It's basically getting shaken out of us. And that's a lot of why we're feeling so uncomfortable right now, is because a lot of this ingrained not good enough, this indoctrinated idea of failure or unlovability, unacceptability, unappreciability, is being shaken out of us. energetically, naturally, as the energy rises around us and through us. And our job is, more than anything, just to surrender to that process, to allow that process to proceed without getting too entangled in trying to figure it all out, and without trying to fix things, because we can't really fix this with the same mind that's basically created it, right? With the same level of intellect that's been programmed into this delusional narrative. We can't mental our way out of it. We can tell ourselves all that we like. You know, people can do affirmations. I am good enough. I am worthy. It doesn't help. In general, it doesn't help to keep repeating that to ourselves, because in some ways it feels like we're lying to ourselves and creates a contraction and a stress and a disconnect. I think what's more important is for us to relax into our heart and just consistently keep feeling the goodness that exists there, and to remind ourselves that the not good enough program is not the truth. And we don't need to yell that at ourselves consistently. We just need to remind ourselves compassionately from time to time that we are good enough, and the not good enough story is just a program. And we are expanding out of it, and it is going to be a process. And our job, I think, more than anything, or our opportunity here, is to be happy nonetheless, right? Is to choose to be happy despite the fact that we're still carrying programs that are limiting our ability to be happy. So happiness is not a completion. Happiness is not an absolute. And we can't even measure to what percentage we're happy, because the scale goes in infinite directions in either way. So percentages don't mean anything. But the point is, we're all progressing into happiness, and it doesn't hurt to choose to declare that we're happy right now and to relax into allowing our happiness to keep expanding. So yes, it's a process. Thank you for attending my TED Talk this morning.